Hello and welcome to this interview, and thank you for taking your time. Maybe you can first introduce yourself a little bit. What is your age, your career identity, and your city of living?
Okay. Hi, I'm Ruben. Thank you for having me. Um, I am 21 years old. Why did I have to think about it? Okay. I'm 21 years old. I'm a queer bisexual man, and normally I live in Ghent, Belgium. But now I'm
Okay,
here on my Erasmus in Ljubljana.
okay. How much free time do you have per week, and how do you spend your free time?
I this semester, because I'm on Erasmus and I don't have that many classes, I have a shit ton of free time. So I think I only have like 2 classes a week. Um, so I have a lot of free time, and most of it I just spent um, or with my friends, going out to bars or going out to eat, or doing things like a barbecue or movie night or something like that, or, or clubbing, um, or I spend it alone in my room, going to read somewhere, going to the park, spending
Okay,
some time in nature. I think, yeah, I think
okay.
that's how I spend my free time.
And in Ghent?
In Ghent, I think I'm more self-sustaining, where I can spend a lot more time on my own. Also in my room, gaming or cooking, or also just going out alone. Where, for example, if I want to read something, I just can go to a cafe once a week, and I can spend my time alone there. I'm
Okay.
really fine with that.
Okay, so you already covered a bit of it, but what places for entertainment do you mostly go out to? And there's a list of situations, places, sorry, like cafes, bars, pubs, restaurants, nightclubs, concerts, cinemas, theaters, betting shops, and casinos, or something that is not listed. So if anything that is like, yes, I'm going there, then
Yeah, I
you.
think most of the things, clubbing, libraries, cafes, bars, restaurants, those are often my top. Um, Ones I really like to point out, which I really like being in, is, for example, swimming pool.
Mhm. You like it or you
I
don't
really
like it?
like it.
Okay.
It's really relaxing. Or libraries. I fucking love library. Just everybody shutting the fuck up and enjoying time together. I really like libraries.
Okay, perfect. Do you feel safe in public spaces?
I think often, yes. Um, Most of the time, I feel safe, um, for my all in general well-being. I think, for example, if I'm with my friends, I really don't, or I don't think about it, or when I think about it, I think, oh, I'm really happy. I feel really relaxed. I feel really safe in this environment. Um, so I would say most of the time I feel very safe, but I also often feel very seen. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a lot of people can see me or do look at me or do think about me. Um, where I think that is most often the case where I don't feel very safe. For example, when I'm alone, for example, when I'm biking from the place I'm meeting to home, uh, when I have specific outfit on, or if I go clubbing, which is to a place that is not, for example, a gay club or a gay safe space, then I'm a little bit more cautious, um, of how I move, what I do, where I go, with who I am. Um, but overall, I think I feel quite safe. Yes.
Okay. And can you like say the difference between not feeling safe and feeling safe is like the reason why you sometimes that you say like yes overall I feel safe.
Yeah, I think the like you're questioning the reason why I don't feel safe, right?
Yeah, or
Or
like the difference between like yes overall I feel safe, but then sometimes in some cases not. Like why not?
mhm. um, One of the first things I think about is um, when I don't feel safe, I feel like I'm too gay,
Mm-hmm.
where it's too obvious. Um, and then the first thing I think of is clubbing. I dance really, really, really weird, but I really love dancing, and I really just like closing my eyes, feeling the music, and dancing in a way. But there are specific places where I don't feel safe to close my eyes,
Mm-hmm.
or there are specific places where I just unconsciously think, okay, I'm not gonna take up as much space as I can. I'm not gonna use my hips. I'm not gonna use my shoulders. It's just, and that's it, because I don't feel safe tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what causes that is often um, when I have the feeling people are looking at me, and then I project um, their thoughts almost on them. Like I imagine they are thinking,
Mm.
"Oh, this is too much. Oh, what the fuck." Um, and then sometimes that fear is not rational. That's true,
Mm-hmm.
but oftentimes it is in the benefit of my own safety to trust that feeling, to trust that gut feeling and say, okay, we're not gonna be gay tonight, which is kind of sad, but it happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um.
Did that answer your question? I don't
Yeah.
know. Okay,
Yeah. Do you think all people are equally safe in public spaces?
absolutely not.
And why not?
Um, when I'm just gonna keep the example of clubbing because it's
Mm-hmm.
one very clear, but it's so much broader than that. Feeling safe in public is so much broader than that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I go clubbing with girlfriends of mine in normal spaces, I often feel like when I'm the only man there, I have to look out for them because they are in danger, because they are hunted on. But if we are in the gay club, suddenly I am the one that other people are interested in, or um, other people are looking at, or older men are looking at, for example. Um, so it really, you have these like um, variables that really change what is safety and where your safety is. For example, a gay man can perfectly be safe um, in certain spaces, and in certain spaces I can't be. Um, Women can be perfectly safe in a women's gym, but not in a normal one. And for example, also um, I have queer friends who have another ethnicity than me that are not white. That's a whole other story suddenly. So safety can change so much from person to person, from variable to variable. Variable. That's a word, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think my safety is my safety. I can perfectly talk about my safety. I know other people's safety is very different from mine. Um, but I think they can talk about it best.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Um. Have you experienced any discomfort at a public event because of your gender identity or sexual orientation?
Yes.
And can you maybe describe this situation or situations? Who were there?
Um,
What was going on?
I've been trying more and more to wear scarves. These beautiful things.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
I really like them, but I notice when I'm biking somewhere and I'm alone, I bike a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
Discomfort is not something that um, randomly comes, or it's very situational. Sometimes it's just there. Um, and I would really like to describe the situations. Like for example, it's one. All it takes is one bad look. All it takes is, oh, I'm passing um, a very big group of boys, or I'm passing. For example, in my country, there are a lot of right wing flags sometimes. One flag is enough to make me feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would really like to say that it's situational, but it doesn't take a lot to make me feel unsafe.
Okay. Yeah.
That's very vague, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
No, I understand. Have you experienced any discomfort when going to the toilet in a public space or place?
I don't think so. Not really. Um, no.
Okay. If you go out to places for an
Wait, maybe. It's really awkward to go to like urinals. I don't know if that's the right word, but like these men toilets on the wall.
mm-hmm.
On one hand, I find it extremely cute how men are so scared of each other that they will look at the ceiling or they will look anywhere else. Um, but I feel quite awkward as a gay man being at urinals,
Hmm.
and that's not me sexualizing other people going to the toilet. That is, I feel like we as men in our toilet have sexualized it, saying like we have these like rules where you can't be next to each other or you have to be as far as from each other as etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I question, is there also a rule that says that I can't be here, that I can't
Hmm.
be here? um, so I think I always feel a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't think it's really my gender identity, but it's a very manly space and I don't feel like a manly man, so I feel like that's not 100% my space.
Okay.
And I think that's my answer.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
It's a good question.
If you go out to places for entertainment with your partner or with a person whom you have scheduled a date with, do you have any kind of restraint or censorship of your behavior due to your gender identity or sexual orientation? So, do you avoid holding hands, kissing, hugging, so on?
Yes. For the simple reason that I haven't done public dates ever with another queer man.
Okay.
I've simply, I feel almost subconsciously avoided it,
Mm-hmm.
where we go on a date in my room or their place or do a picnic in like the middle of nowhere of a field or whatever the fuck. Um, and I noticed because I'm bisexual, so I have dated men and women alike.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have had more dates with women, I think. I think that's also because I feel more comfortable in public spaces with women,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm a little bit less picky about it. With when I'm dating men, I often first ask the question, do I feel safe with them? And then I have to ask the question, do I feel safe with them in public space? And then I have to ask, where in public space, how in public space. Um, like I think a lot of people can imagine like the stress of the first kiss or the stress of, oh, how am I gonna show that I'm really liking them? While I have to ask that question, plus, will he like it? And will the public like it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not something between us anymore. It's about us all. It's a statement suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so much more pressure. But I think what I mostly also want to say is when that has so much pressure on one side and my heterosexual dates are not that like that at all,
Mm-hmm.
I subconsciously just take a heterosexual date. It's so much easier. It's so much. easier to fall in love and show love and have dates and go to places. Um, and now I'm a little bit more conscious about it, where I'm like, okay, no, I want to have a gay date, whatever the cost.
Mhm.
Um, I want to show people that I love them, but it's really hard. It's
Mhm.
really hard.
What do you think it would take to feel comfortable to go on a date with another guy?
Um, I think queer positive spaces do a lot, where I wouldn't take a random place. I The place would be have to be familiar.
Mhm.
I should have should be able to have expectations. I should know the person a little bit more on advance, um, because it is that extra dimension.
Mhm.
Do I feel safe with you, and do I feel safe with you in this public space?
Mhm.
Um, but yes, I think familiarity of the place and the person. I think that's already a big step.
Yeah. Okay. Do you avoid going to different services? For example, health services, social services?
I I would like to say that I don't avoid them, but I find that they are sometimes a little bit more difficult. For example, giving blood in my country,
Mhm.
you have to say that you don't,
Mm.
that you are not a homosexual man, or you didn't have sex for the last 6 months, or
Mhm.
monogamous sex, or whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
One, I don't want to lie. Two, that's not one of their fucking business. So I don't give blood, for example. Um, and if the news would come, oh, this is not in the questionnaire anymore, I'm the first man there.
Mhm.
But for example, also, I won't avoid going to the doctor, but if when I'm with the doctor asking for an STD test, is STD the right word? Sexual transmitted
Disease.
disorders? Yeah, okay.
This disease. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
If I just want to get a checkup, have a fun time, I asked it once, and they asked me, yeah, why do you want an STD test? And I was like, I had unprotected sex with multiple partners. I would like to feel safe in my own body.
Mhm.
And it took that vulnerability to get an STD test.
Mhm.
I waiting for the sirens to end. That's my doctor, by the way. No. Yeah, it took that vulnerability for a doctor to just give me the thing I have a right to,
Mhm.
and I don't think that threshold should be there. And I don't think, um, especially if we're talking about, hey, we want gay men to be safe, and we want, um, gay and STD is so much a problem, and then we still make it so hard to test,
Mhm.
and then we still make it so hard to access the healthcare to make sure we don't make it harder or more dangerous.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Did you ever had like? Do you consider this as like a bad experience you had?
I think so.
Yeah. And did you do you have
Um,
any other experiences that you would consider more as bad?
in services,
Yeah.
does work count as a service?
Mm,
Nah, not
not
really. No,
really.
I don't think so. Not in case of my sexual identity, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. Um. So far, have you had any unpleasant situations in service facilities of that type, or when making an appointment? Yeah, that's maybe different, like
Yeah,
same situation,
I think
question
it's
as
the
before.
same
Yeah.
situation for me.
Okay. Um, did you change your name and gender in your personal documents?
No.
Okay.
Um, I also think I would want to change my name. I really like my name. Um, but I think if I would want to, it's not that difficult.
Okay. Um, do you think that some of the places dedicated to recreational activities in the field of entertainment and sports or not completely safe for queer people?
Mm, first thing I think of is locker rooms.
Mhm.
Um, like I think that's one of the earliest places in my life where I felt unsafe.
Mhm.
Um, because it's so often it's unsupervised. There are no teachers. They're just kids, and often bullying happens really easily there.
Mhm.
Um, but also, it is that sexualization of, oh, if I now take my shirt off, suddenly I'm revealing something. We are revealing something. We are doing something intimate, something that's yeah, sexualized. Um, where suddenly it's the question, oh, is your sexuality doesn't fit here.
Mhm.
Um, while there is such a big difference between me changing into sports gear, which I don't find attractive at all, but anyways, um, and me liking men. I
Mhm.
think that's a very big difference, but always that difference doesn't really exist there. And I wouldn't start explaining that in a
Mhm.
locker room. The moment I never talk about my homosexuality in a locker room.
Yeah. Have you had bad experiences,
Um,
or it's just a feeling?
maybe, but I don't really remember them um, that vividly.
Mhm.
Um, but I just know from a very young age that I liked closing myself off in like in a separate room,
Mhm.
not because I didn't want to be seen, but because nobody could get to me. Um, and I don't know where that comes from,
Mhm.
but it is there.
Yeah. Okay. And you said you like swimming.
I really
Do
like
you feel
swimming.
like swimming places where you can go swimming are safe for queer people or for you?
I think they're not necessarily safe, but I don't feel unsafe that much because I feel the moment that I am in the water, I'm so hidden from other people
Mhm.
um, that people can almost not see me. And then I would almost want to contrast it with the gym where there are 22 mirrors. Everybody
Mm.
has seen me, everybody can see me. Um, so for me as a queer man, I feel very safe in the swimming pool. It's because I can do the thing I want to do here without being observed.
Mhm. Okay. Good. Would you say that your feeling of safety in public spaces has changed throughout the years?
Hmm. Yes, and I think it went up and down,
Mhm.
really. I remember uh so Corona happened when I was 15. Yes, I'm young, leave me alone. Um and when Corona was for me a very big time of discovering my sexuality, and most of the social
Mm.
interactions I had were with people on the internet who were also queer. Um and then I was suddenly so incredibly scared because I was going to my fourth year of high school. So I think I must have been almost 16, and I was so incredibly scared that people would beat me up
Mm.
because now I was um, very identifying with this queerness,
Mhm.
and I was really in my headspace of, yeah, but this is me and this is them.
Mhm.
Most of the world doesn't like us. And I was really alright. I was scared for the first months, but it really, for me, has come in waves where I think that is the first conscious wave I had. But for me, what often happens is I feel very unsafe. So then I changed myself to be less open and proud and
Mhm.
etc.
Mhm.
And then I become more open again because I feel like I feel safer again.
Mhm.
And then I get met by the fear again, and
Mhm.
often that's the cycle. And for example, now during my Erasmus, I really try to do as much queerness that I could, just experience with things.
Mhm.
And I am quite scared of going back to Belgium to see what would happen.
Mhm.
Um, Not only violently, but I feel like we have this so implicit homophobia
Mhm.
where it's really like the moment I wear something that's not to my general norms, it has to be pointed out or it has
Mhm.
to be looked at. And I don't want to be looked at. I just want to be queer and be allowed to be queer. Um, but for example, last month was the 30th Gay Pride of Belgium. There were three drag queens on the headlines, and they were all beat up after the Pride parade.
Mhm.
On their way home to the car, 30 people beating them up. If this is the country I'm returning to, I think I might have to head to the gym to start running or whatever the fuck. Because I don't want to give up the scarves again.
Mhm.
But I also don't want to feel unsafe.
Mhm. So regarding what happened during Pride Parade in Brussels, um, now thinking about going back to Belgium, does this make you feel more uncomfortable or more unsafe, or how does this?
I I don't know. Like it's always a little bit. I wouldn't say it make me more unsafe. Um, of course, I think in the back of your mind, if unconsciously it does impact you,
Mhm.
but it just makes me really sad. I think that's one of the things that it mostly does. Um, and it's also the fact that normally it was the 30th edition, so it was anniversary, right?
Mhm.
And I really kind of wanted to be there, and I was kind of guilty that I wasn't. And then that happened, and I was like, oh, I'm happy I wasn't there. But like, that's my moment.
Mhm.
Why am I happy to not be there? Like, that's fucking bullshit.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't say I feel more unsafe, just sad.
Okay. What gives you a sense of safety in the city? And you can
Um,
also compare Ljubljana, for example, now with Ghent or.
Ljubljana has a gay club. Ghent doesn't.
Mhm.
Ljubljana has a gay bar. Ghent doesn't. I think it's a very that changes a lot when you have a designated space um, designed for you with a flag, with queer people behind the bar, and even though safe spaces are never really safe, it's not 100% included. It's spaces where the risk is just a little bit lower. Um, but Ghent doesn't have that. So I'm really trying to enjoy as much as I can from what I have here because I'm returning to a place that lacks, it actually lacks that. It doesn't only not have it, it lacks queer spaces. Like one time I was talking to one of my colleagues about one of my favorite bars, and they were like, "Oh, I heard that was a queer spot," and I was like, "Yeah, but firstly, if I didn't know that as a person who goes there every week, I don't know if it's actually a queer spot.
Mhm.
Like if it's not." if there are no flags, if there are no obvious signs, it's
Mm-hmm.
not really a queer spot. But if that's the best we got, it's kind of sad. Um, so yeah, queer safe spaces and signed queer safe spaces make me feel very safe.
Okay. And anything else you're thinking of?
Mm, the fact that the city is so small makes it also very easy to feel familiar,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that also makes it very easy. For example, my friends and I often go to Ferdinand, and we go there so often where I'm like, I can sit here alone and feel safe. I can walk here at 4 a.m. and feel safe. Um, I'm never that far from my home or never that far from my friends. So yeah, the size does also a lot.
Okay. What do you think cities, organizations, and the broader public should do to make public spaces more inclusive and safe?
Acknowledge that they are not,
Mm-hmm.
because they aren't. I think that's really the first step. Saying, um, because I don't know if I believe in saying, hey, queer people are not safe. Um, this is a problem. I think I really like the addition, queer people are safe. Queer people are also our people. Therefore, they have the right to be safe. They are not. So we have to give them that. We have to make sure that right is true. Like our laws ask us, beg us to give that right to them. So we should. Um, but we also have to acknowledge at first that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, when I talk about hanging pride flags or symbols of queer um, safe spaces, I'm also talking about when you do that, you acknowledge that one place is safer than another. That this place is a safe place from the unsafe space outside. Take a stand in that. Say, hey, we acknowledge that these people aren't safe and we do the effort to make this place more safe. Um, and I have a hard time seeing how that is practically
Sorry, there's, I
done.
think, something. Yeah, it's okay.
I think I have a hard time to see how that is practically done, like in a way where it's really unique to every country, every organization, every problem. For example, a queer positive gym versus queer positive bar, that's a whole other interventions where you have to do there.
Mm-hmm.
But flags do things. It's taking the stand, it's taking the effort, it's doing the work,
Okay.
acknowledging that we fail and that we don't want to fail.
Okay. Um. Okay. Is there anything you would like to add? Any thought that you feel like is important and can be overlooked when we speak about LGBTQ plus people in public space?
Mm, I don't know. Um, I think what I often find really important is not only still keeping the fight going, but also living. Like you can feel unsafe and do it anyway. Um, and yeah, I don't know what I would like to add.
It's okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think I said enough.
Yes. Thank you for sharing your personal experiences. Um, how are you feeling
Good.
sharing this?
Um, it's not. I think it's never really easy to do interviews like these because it's when you are talking about feeling unsafe. Um, the feeling is suddenly really real.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a queer person, it's often so easy to live a life just trying to avoid that unsafe feeling. And doing this, like this interview, it's really acknowledging that it's there, admitting that it's there, admitting that it hurts you, admitting that it's really hard, and admitting that it's a big part of it is out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I find it incredibly important to do these, but I find them hard. But we do hard things. So I'm glad I got the chance to do it.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.